The angel, the devil, and you, who really wins in your mind? You know that little voice inside you that says, do it, no matter the consequences. And the other one who answers, absolutely not. That's wrong, it's your fault. And then there's you, in the middle, trying to decide what to do. Well, you're not crazy. According to Sigmund Freud, this is the daily struggle between three fundamental characters that inhabit your mind. Today we discover who they are. He is the ego and the superego, and who, or what, really wins this internal battle. Hello everyone, and welcome to another round of exploring the secrets of the psyche revealed by Freud. After exploring the powerful impulses of Eros and Thanatos, today we delve into Freud's famous second theme, his map of the mind divided into three dimensions: the ID, the ego, and the superego. They seem like strange names, but I assure you that understanding how these three parts of you interact will give you a powerful key to understanding your decisions, your inner conflicts, and even your feelings of guilt. Ready to discover the full picture of your mind? Let's start with the most primitive, the most impulsive, our spoiled inner child, the ES. What it is? It is the oldest and most unconscious part of our psyche, present from birth. It is the reservoir of raw impulses, primal desires, and instincts. How it works? The ID operates according to the pleasure principle. It doesn't care about reality, logic, or morality. It only wants immediate satisfaction of needs and desires. I'm hungry, I want to eat now. I'm angry, I want to scream now. I see something I like, I want it now. His characteristics: he is illogical, irrational, amoral, and selfish, in the sense that he is simply self-centered. He knows neither time nor contradictions. A metaphor: imagine it as a crying newborn baby, or even as the classic little devil on your shoulder whispering all the wildest temptations to you. At the other extreme, we find the superego. The superego, the strict little angel. You don't have to be, you have to be perfect. What it is our moral conscience, our inner judge. It develops later primarily through the internalization of norms, prohibitions, values, and ideals passed on by parents and society, through the resolution of the Oedipus complex, as we have seen. How it works? The superego works by seeking moral perfection. It tells us what we should and shouldn't do. It is the source of our guilt when we transgress its rules, and of our pride or ego ideal when we conform to its high standards. Its characteristics: it can be very rigid, severe, punitive, sometimes even more irrational than the ID in its demands for perfection. A metaphor: it's the little angel on our shoulder, sometimes a little strict, who reminds us of all the rules and makes us feel guilty if we break them. And then there is you, or rather your most conscious and rational part, the self. The ego, the poor mediator. Okay, let's make a compromise. What it is? The ego is the part of the personality that develops from the ID in contact with external reality. It is largely conscious, although it has unconscious roots. It is our executive self that makes decisions. How it works? The ego operates according to the reality principle. Its difficult task is to mediate between the impulsive demands of the ID, I want to please immediately, the moral and often punitive demands of the superego, you mustn't do it, it's wrong, the conditions and limits of external reality, can I do it, what are the consequences? Their characteristics: they are logical, rational, seek realistic solutions, and try to postpone gratification of the ID until it can be satisfied in a safe and socially acceptable way. They use defense mechanisms to manage the anxiety that arises from these conflicts. A metaphor: the ego is like a knight trying to tame two powerful and unruly horses, the ID and the superego, trying to guide them in the right direction, taking into account the terrain, reality. So every day within us, this real negotiation or battle takes place. The ID screams, I want that cake. The superego thunders, you can't, you're on a diet and it's bad for you. You're weak if you give in. The ego tries to mediate. Well, maybe I'll have a small piece after dinner, so I can satisfy my desire a little without overdoing it and without feeling too guilty. A strong and balanced ego is able to manage these pressures with flexibility, finding healthy compromises. But what happens if one of the instances is too dominant? It's too strong. Impulsive behavior, difficulty following rules, unbridled pursuit of pleasure without thinking about the consequences. Superego that is too strong and rigid, excessive feelings of guilt, anxiety, perfectionism, difficulty enjoying life. Too weak self, overwhelmed by anxiety, unable to make decisions, at the mercy of the other two instances. So who wins? Ideally, no one wins completely. Winning is a fine balance managed by a competent ego. Understanding this model does not help us label ourselves, but rather recognize the different voices within us. Understand the origin of our internal conflicts and feelings of guilt. Become more aware of our motivations. Develop a stronger ego, capable of making more conscious decisions and less driven by impulse or a hyper-rigid sense of duty. It's like having a map to better navigate your inner world. And you? In what situations do you hear the oppressive voice of the id or the harsh, judgmental voice of the superego more? Do you recognize your ego's role as a mediator? Tell me in the comments an example of an internal battle you've experienced. If this Freudian mind map has enlightened you, leave a nice like. Subscribe and hit the bell, because in our next video about Freud we'll discover revolutionary ideas that are still valid, a video you can't miss. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the id, the ego, and the superego. I hope it helps you understand yourselves a little better. See you next time. Goodbye.